Yeah, and then this is another very tactical thing, and this I think this slide is great because it's one of the easier ones to implement. I firmly believe that, especially if you're building a personal software project, if you're making, like your own company or a startup, then obviously things are different because you want to make money at some point. But I think for the vast majority of people here, your goal is to like, I just want to get, my first software engineering job or better software engineering job. You want to use your personal software projects to essentially boost your portfolio so you can do that. So, and you might not realize this, but when your goal is to like, I just want to use this, this personal project, this app or website to get a better job, you actually have this great asset. You actually have a huge competitive edge um, over the rest of the market, over the rest of the other apps and websites, in existence, because your goal isn't to make money from this project. Your goal is just to, get users and build a polished product that looks good to employers and then level up your career. So you should just make your product free and ad free. And I've been doing this for pretty much every app I've made. It gives you an absolutely massive competitive edge over the other like apps and websites in your space. And like you might as well just take advantage of that, right? It's actually extra effort to like make your app pay because you have to have the payments, and then adding ads is also annoying. I've actually tinkered with both, adding like in-app purchases and adding ads. It's not trivial, right? So it's like, why would you go through extra effort to make, frankly, just a little bit of money from a personal software project? And then essentially killing your chances of getting a lot of users when you can just make it free with less effort and then increase your chances of actually accomplishing your goal, which is to increase your hireability. And users hate paying for stuff. Users hate looking at ads. Like we all users, like we know this. When you have ads and or you gate your app behind a paywall, it's really hard to build momentum because what you want to do with any product is you want the initial users to love the product, right? Because like in order to build momentum, you need to have a core group of users who are really invested in your product, who really find value from it because it's so polished and efficient. And you can't really have an app that's like polished or even efficient if you have like all these ads and payments kind of blocking things within the app. So I really do believe that like if you hide your app behind a paywall or you put ads on it, it's pretty much a death sentence because it's going to be really hard to get that initial group of like 25, 50, 100 users who genuinely love your app and then leave the 5-star reviews that, kind of snowballs into your app growing to 50,000, 100,000, 500,000 users. And you're going to spend like all this time building this app and then extra time integrating the payments and the ads just to build yet another personal project with like no users, and that's really not going to help you. It's not going to be making you money. It's not going to be helping you with hireability. um, so yeah, you don't really want to sink your time like that.
I talked earlier about how the purpose of an engineer in a company is to create business value. And one really easy way to demonstrate that is to create a personal project, which actually has people using it. And so there are a lot of parallels between building a personal project or a side project and working as a software engineer. But this is one area where they're quite distinct. And that's one of the really powerful things about personal software is that there's not as much urgency or need to make money. And so literally what you could do is go to the Play Store or App Store and download a semi-popular app and basically build out the core functionality of that, but remove the ads. The vast majority of people are just trying to make a quick buck or, just be able, I mean, there's no judgment, right? But like, hey, they put in some time and energy and they want to be able to monetize their work. And that's totally fine. But if you're playing a different game where that is not the motivation is to be able to build an app that gets users, build a profile, a portfolio of your work that gets you a job. You're playing a very different game. And that game, I would argue, is actually much, much easier to succeed in because you don't have to do all this extra effort to introduce something, which actually makes it a worse product, right? You can really focus on the core of what you think will deliver value. So I feel like this is one area where there's a big disconnect between what you're doing on your own time and what you might need to be doing if you're working at a company, and you should lean into that.
Yeah, and like from personal experience, like I've gotten so many 5-star reviews that are just like, man, this app is free. It doesn't have any ads while all the other ones do. This is amazing. Like it really is pretty free, like how much benefit you get by just making your stuff truly free.